Well, I've got my appropriate safety gear on, haven't I? I've got my fisherman's jumper on. So the next thing with this is now to spot weld it together. So I've got it ready and I'll get it spot welded round. So we'll set the spot welder up and do that. That's the next job. Right, so we want nothing on there because that's for 3 sections of steel together. That's for plated and that's for high speed steel, or you know, that'll be the springy stuff. And then settings, that's 1 mil. So we'll come down on here to 1 mil, then we're done. Power, we'll leave it just where it is, it doesn't need to do anything else, and all this lot you leave well alone. So that's all ready to go. So now we get it spot welded together, is find myself some goggles, isn't it? Because it will be a bit flashy, and we don't want it going in your eye, do we? You can get foot operated ones of these where you put the work in it and you press the button with your foot, or not the button, press the, you know, and then it all spot welds together. Well, I ain't got one of them, so we're doing it with this. We'll just run around this spot welds now. It might flash a bit, so just mind your eyes, like, you know, we'll have to see. Right, let's go. See what I mean? It will flash a bit, I think. That's why I put these goggles on. Not sure why it flashes so much. Burn holes in my jumper, won't it? Now, it doesn't half crackle sometimes, doesn't it? I'm not sure why. It's got nice welds though. It's welding nicely, but I don't know why it's doing that thing of spitting like that. And yeah, it stays quite cool afterwards. It's a remarkable kit. And these are actually cool. So these have water running through them to keep them cool. So it's a proper machine, this one. It's not one of them little hobbyist ones. It's a very nice machine. What I am going to do is I want to put a glove on because that's a bit sharp, that. Right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get loads of spot welds round here because we're going to file that down, you know, machine that, linish it down to where we want it. So I'm going to do lots of them here, so I'm almost going to go straight over the other ones. That's not flashing now, so I think it's going together. Oh, it's flashing. Okay, it's not then. Might be going, I don't want it to flash. Perhaps someone will tell me why it's flashing like that. So I've got a whole load on there. Now, I'm going to get the ends now. I'm going to grab these ends on here, because this is what we want to go across these on the end here. So I'll get them and then I'll take the clamps off and do the rest of it. I'll put 3 on here. There's something about 3s. Symmetry in 3s, isn't it? There you go, 3 on each end. I haven't got, there you go, I messed that up, haven't I? Well, let's put 5 on here now because I had the clamps in the way. I can't just have 3. There's room for a couple more. Anyway, let's do that. I'll get another one in there. Right. So what I'll do, I'll go around this last bit. This will probably start flashing again, won't it now? See what I mean? It done half crackle, doesn't it? There you go. Well, I've got my appropriate safety gear on, haven't I? I've got my fisherman's jumper on. Well, if it's good enough for them out in the Atlantic, innit, it'll be all right for me, won't it? it'll be all right. Right, so that's that edge done nicely. So we've got that's nice and uniform through there. I'm happy with that. But I'm going to have to do a bit of work on this side to get this to sit how I want it. I think what I'll do is I'll get the end done. So I'm going to attach that end there. Then I might want to dress that out a bit. I want to move that around a bit. So I'm just going to hold it with these. I'm going to get these spots done here. I'm going to do those quickly, then I'm going to try and move this a bit because I'm not quite happy. I'm not happy where that is at the minute. Let's get these done. You see how it moves them grips with the magnetism of it when I put it together? It draws them up into it. Right, okay. So what I want to do is that doesn't line up so quite where I want it there at the minute, so I'm going to have to just give that a little go, just sort that out. And if we do that right, and if I grab one there, and push that in a bit more. Yeah, don't have your finger in there when you're spot welding it. I've got my glove on, but you know what I mean? Pinch it together and weld myself to it. Right, that's a good go. What I want to do is dress this down into here a bit now, a bit further in there. Right, now I can get one in that corner. I'll get a couple in that corner, I'll be happier then. That's a bit more where I want it. Now I'll get on this end here. Right, now we're assembled. Now I'm going to have to get these down to size, these bits, to make them neater, to get them down like that. You see, so I've got to take these down to size. And in doing so, I don't want to go right through, you know, I don't want to linish all the welds away. I've got to be careful not to take too much out. But I should be all right. And I've got to do the same here, and then we've got to neaten these ends up. So we'll get that done quickly. Let's get a pen. I'll turn that one off. So, well, we want at least that off it, don't we? What I'll do is I'll get a grinder out to do that. And we'll take the most of it off with that. And then we can come back and do it on a linisher, can't we, to sort of make a nicer job of it. Right, what I'm going to do, though, now is try and move this out of the way. I've got too much stuff in the way, haven't I? There's always too much stuff about in here. Right. Okay. Okay. Put that around there. That's a bit better, isn't it? I suppose what I should do is rest that on here, shouldn't I? Get it properly out of the way. Like a bungee thing, isn't it? Take that to your back of your trousers and go running across the workshop and it's bring you back. Right, yeah, get a grinder out, do that. And then we should be all right. If I can find a grinder. Where'd I leave it? Did we put it back? No, we didn't. Where'd we leave that? Perhaps you can have a little breather whilst I look for the grinder. I found it. We left it up there. Right. Let's see if I can get to that without letting this down. It all makes sense. Might not to you, it does to me. Right, there it is. Now you could imagine, I could have lost that, couldn't I, for a little while? No, I do remember it was there. But I can't let this down, as you can see. Right, let's go and deal with this. I want that. That's a bit better, isn't it? It's a bit neater than that. And then we'll concentrate on this inside edge. So let's have a pair of those. And let's go over to our little linisher. Mind yourself on the cables. Seem to have too many cables around at the minute. Yep, that's all right. Now, turn that off. Now, we're just going to take the burr off with a little whizzy wheel, and then I'll do the inside edge of that. So we'll change that fibre disc for one of these more abrasives, and we'll just zip the top of this off. You take the air back out of the spot welder, but we don't need the air in that now, do we? Because we're finished with that. Well, I might take it, you know, do a couple of little more spots on it, but we're pretty much done. Okay, that's that. So that's looking a lot nicer, isn't it? Through there. But now we're going to have to do something with this, which is something similar, to neaten that up, because that's all horrible now, isn't it? So we'll do that bit. And then we're moving towards what we want, aren't we? So that's pretty good going, I think. Now, I'm not using a scriber and really fighting up, partly because I can't see. So, yeah, so I don't... yeah, it doesn't need to be that fine. I don't need this to be scribed in. If I was joining two pieces of metal together on a bit of bodywork, doing a butt weld, then dressing it out, I will scribe them in and cut them and file them and make them absolutely spot on. But for this sort of thing, it's more, you know, you almost can do it without marking it. I could just do it sort of by eye. And a nice thick black line like that in this dimpsy old light with my dimpsy eyes is just about right, isn't it? I'll have to start bringing my glasses in, but for some of the machining. But for most of this stuff, I can manage. But yeah, it's that thing of being over 50, isn't it? Perhaps you're not over 50. You're all right. I suspect we haven't got many young viewers, have we? It's not that sort of a thing, is it? They won't have the patience for it, will they? They've barely got the patience to watch a few seconds of TikTok. Yeah, see a bit more down? So take this next edge off. That's them done. So we've got to fix these ends now, get these neatened up. Let's work out how to mark them out. So let's start with this end, see what we can do with this. So you almost want like a rubber band around there, don't you? So that's going to sit nicely, and then sort of draw a line around it. I think maybe we could try a bit of tape, couldn't we, and see what that looks like. That might be a way. Pull it around with a bit of tape. Of course, you thought I was going to have all the answers, didn't you? I haven't. You do some of it on the hoof, you know. Some of it you make up as you go along. Right. So I guess, let's see on this. I don't know if this will work, will it? I mean, it might be a sort of thing that does, mightn't it? So my father always told me, mark of a true artist is someone that can draw a circle freehand. I don't suppose anyone bothers now, do they? You probably don't need to, do you? You can get the computer to do it. But anyway, there was that argument at school, wasn't it? Oh, well, you don't need to know your times tables because the calculator will do it. And there is a degree of that, but you don't understand anything if you're getting them to do it. It's a bit like sat-navs, isn't it? How you use the sat-nav and you can't remember where you've been or how to get there again without the sat-nav. Whereas if you didn't, you get that sort of memory, don't you, of it, and the images, and that's almost like a form of deja vu. You feel the light through the trees and the whatever, and the past the Georgian Dragon, turn left. No, but not quite, you know. But it is a bit like that. But yeah, most people direct themselves via pubs, don't they? You know what I mean. Right, that'll do. I'll take that off. Let's take that off, and then we can get that on the linisher to finish it, I think, is the way to sort of finish that off. A bit tight at the beginning there because it's got two bits, isn't it? But what I'll do is I'll take this down like this, and then we can put it on that linisher and try and get it trued up at the end, which is what I did with the other one. I mean, you could do it with a big file, couldn't you? You could do it with your coarse file, couldn't you? Which always amused me is when they call it a bastard file or a bastard file. And I think there's probably more in some drawer somewhere, isn't it? Get the bastard file out and put his name down in it. There you are. Like our first headmaster said, I've got a little back book and your name's in it. So thanks. Infamy, they've all got it in for me. Right, okay. I'm going to try this trick again here. Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to give me something to work to, isn't it? It's about there, isn't it? I know we're looking for more than about, aren't we? But, you know, we've got to do something. We can't, yeah, got to do something with this. Right, that's looking better, isn't it? What I'm going to try and do is get that on that linisher and try and just finish them ends a bit. And it's a bit of a tricky thing, that thing, because it could do with a new belt on it, because it's he says putting his belt up. Right, let's just try and get this cleaned up a bit on here, and then I think we're done, really. So I'll take this off. I'm going to have to clean them up a bit. Just finish them a bit, get them rounder. But that'll do, I think. That'll do for today. I can clean them up a little bit with a bit of emery, linish them up a little bit by hand. I might give them a bit more of that on that thing. But right, there's our former. That's what we're trying to copy, isn't it? One of them. That'll do, won't it? That's it. That's what we're going for, isn't it? One of them. And then we've got another one from last week. So there you go. Like funnels, aren't they? On a boat. Just like them, aren't they? Yeah, like a pair of funnels, isn't it? On like Leslie Phillips on the Navy Lark. I say, ding dong. Right, yeah, we lost Leslie, didn't we, this week? So he's another one gone. Yeah, anyway. Yeah. Right, well, that's them. I did say, didn't I? I said, I'll be deaf and you'll be bored. Well, I'm not deaf, and I don't know if you're bored, but anyway, I'm going home. Good night.